You think I'm stealing from you? Marcus Turner heard that voice, calm, low, but firm like steel, right at the doorstep of the Esperanza Community Center. Sophia Cole stood there, tray in hand, her apron wrinkled, sleeves pushed up, eyes locked on him like she carried the weight of a battle she never wanted but wasn't about to avoid. Marcus didn't flinch, at least not on the outside. But inside, everything shifted. He was the CEO of Turner Capital, a man used to commanding boardrooms with a glance. Yet tonight, he found himself parked in a cracked lot behind a church, tailing a junior employee, not some corporate spy, but Sophia, the quiet intern who'd suddenly become suspicious in his eyes that he'd watched her disappearing early, unexplained trips. When sensitive files began vanishing, he didn't waste time. He followed her. What he expected was some slick handoff, maybe a stranger with a briefcase. Instead, he found this faded green building with peeling gutters, a line of elderly waiting for warm meals, kids running around with homemade toys. And there she was, sleeves rolled up, laughter spilling out, balancing trays of rice and soup, while teaching a boy English vocabulary printed on recycled financial reports. His reports. Been watching you, Marcus said finally, breaking the silence. I know, she replied without blinking. Had to be sure you weren't chasing ghosts. He hesitated. You never explained where you were going with those documents. I didn't think I owed you a report, Sophia shrugged. But since you asked, those papers? Scrap now. Used for lesson plans for kids who can't afford textbooks. I leave early because some of these folks only eat once a day, and today's that day. Marcus looked past her to the cracked plexiglass window inside. An old man folded napkins into shapes for children. A teen helped another lace donated sneakers. I thought you were selling us out, he muttered. Sophia stepped forward, not angry, not defensive, just there. You thought I was less than I am, she said softly. I don't need your applause. I don't want to be your headline or your charity story. What I need is space, to do the right thing, and dignity, not to be followed like a criminal. Her words hit him like a punch. There's a difference, she added quietly, between being seen and being watched. I've had enough of the second. Marcus swallowed hard. That night, the man who'd conquered boardrooms felt something unfamiliar, shame. I'm sorry, he said. Sophia nodded once. Not forgiveness, just acknowledgement, and turned back into the soft light of the center, back to the children, the elders, the life she never advertised. Marcus stood long after she left. The cool night brushed past his expensive coat like it belonged to someone else. His world of spreadsheets and cold strategy was suddenly ripped open by a girl he thought he knew but didn't. As he walked back to his car, a voice echoed, not hers, but his own from a different time. People don't change the world with power. They change it by doing what's right, quietly. For the first time in years, Marcus Turner didn't feel powerful. He felt human. And that, for once, was enough. The next morning, Sophia arrived early as usual, quiet, efficient, hair tied back, laptop hugged to her chest. No mention of last night's confrontation. Marcus watched her from his glass office. He didn't call her in or send emails. Instead, he opened a blank document and typed Esperanza Confidential Grant Proposal. The irony wasn't lost on him. Yesterday, he thought she was stealing secrets. Today, he was figuring out how to fund her. That afternoon, Marcus called his head of philanthropy. Do we still have the Community Impact Fund from the Spalding merger? About $300,000 left. Allocate all of it to the Esperanza Community Center. Quietly, anonymously, Sophia noticed the changes almost immediately. Deliveries doubled. A bookstore donated hundreds of bilingual readers, and a new HVAC unit arrived. Paid for by an anonymous check no one could trace. At work, Marcus kept his distance but watched her carefully. Her project reports were meticulous, her insights sharp. She never spoke unless spoken to, until one Friday late afternoon. She knocked softly on his door, holding a thin folder. I finished the audit on the Logan account. Someone's double charging subcontractors. Marcus flipped through the notes. This could save us a scandal. She didn't smile. I didn't come for praise. I came to see if I still belong here. He looked at her. I know what you did. The donations, the supplies. I didn't say anything because I wanted to believe it was sincere, but if it's guilt, if you're trying to make amends for spying on me, I'd rather you leave than be my penance. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice was steady. It's respect, the kind you should have shown from the start. Marcus blinked. You opened my eyes, not just to your work, but how blind I'd become in mine. For the first time, Sophia looked uncertain. I never wanted to be seen, she said softly. Just understood. And Marcus said nothing more, because she'd said enough. Weeks later, Marcus let her lead a critical board presentation, the first intern to ever do so. She stood in front of a room of directors, calm and composed, facts and solutions flowing like armor around her. By the end, one director muttered, "She saved us 6 months of litigation." Marcus smiled quietly from his chair. Not ownership, not mentorship, something more personal. He was witnessing someone become herself. After the meeting, Marcus offered her a path. I'll fund whatever training you want. Project management, strategy, you name it. I want you to stay. Sophia looked down. Why? Because you're good. And the world needs people who lead with both skill and purpose. She hesitated. I'll think about it. That weekend, Marcus showed up at Esperanza with a bag of old books and college shirts, sneakers on his feet for the first time in years. You came back? A boy shouted. Waving, Sophia just smiled. Surprised, but not alarmed. Marcus sat among elders debating stew recipes, joined by kids giggling to Motown, playing softly. Sophia handed him lemonade, teasing, Didn't think I'd see you here again. Neither did I, Marcus admitted. But this place feels like a world outside the world. As the sun set, they talked. Marcus admitted, I regret following you. Sophia smiled, yeah? Only because it showed me how far I'd strayed from the man I wanted to be. The days that followed weren't easy. Internal audits flagged Sophia's access as a breach, bureaucracy ready to strike. Marcus defended her fiercely. I gave her temporary clearance. This isn't her fault. Sophia asked quietly, why is it so easy to suspect good work and so hard to believe in it without an angle? Marcus had no answer. They fought back, revising clearance protocols, pushing culture shifts, and standing together against whispers of scandal. 2 days after a joint press conference exposing the truth behind the leaks and rumors, Esperanza's donations tripled, not from corporate pockets, but from strangers who saw courage instead of controversy. Sophia walked the office halls no longer just an intern, but a recognized leader, though she carried exhaustion too, the weariness of proving she belonged. Every single day. One afternoon, Marcus found her on the rooftop garden, barefoot, staring at a report but not reading. Most would take a victory lap, he said. She shook her head. It feels like patching holes in a sinking ship. Maybe, he said, or maybe we just proved the ship is worth saving. Sophia looked out over the skyline. I keep thinking about all the others, the interns no one saw. We owe them everything, Marcus said. Months later, the new division they built, Wellington Impact Strategies, launched quietly. No gala, no fanfare, just a simple op-ed by Marcus and Sophia titled Business Owes the Neighborhood. Requests poured in, from firms, colleges, communities wanting to replicate their model. Sophia received a handwritten letter from a grandmother thanking her. My granddaughter wants to be like you. Inside the firm, cracks showed. Executives mocked their efforts at a rival gala, calling Sophia a performative activist. But Marcus was unshaken. They laugh because they're scared, he said. Change feels like motion, not marketing. Sophia was tired of being the face of something they wanted to erase, but together, they planned deeper change, building leadership pipelines, funding networks, and movements no one could ignore. At a city forum, Sophia spoke truth to power. We don't need more panels. We need pathways. This isn't charity, it's justice. And justice makes power uncomfortable. Applause grew, but not all clapped. One board member's tight smile said it all. Resistance remained. Back at work, Sophia found anonymous emails attacking her, complaining about too many activists on stage. Marcus called it what it was, a campaign to freeze progress. Together, they fought back with data, stories, and community testimony. At an internal hearing, Sophia stood calm, presenting her work. When asked if passion clouded her judgment, she answered, "Professional judgment without passion created this problem." Marcus stood firm. "I authorized every move. If there's fault, it's mine. But if discomfort comes from seeing an intern achieve what many failed to do, we should rethink our standards." The ruling cleared them. For the first time, interns were allowed to lead impact initiatives pending reviewed. Sophia's title unofficially became director. Respect followed, but so did exhaustion. The cost of breaking barriers. On the rooftop garden again, Marcus told her, "Most would celebrate." She replied, "This feels like the start, not the end." Sophia wrote a letter to her 16-year-old self, taped it in the Esperanza classroom. They'll